Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. This is the astrological forecast for June 14th through June 20th of 2020. Now this is a general overview, meaning we are aiming at as many of about 8 billion people as we can get to. So this does not seem to apply to you when you look at your sign down below. If it does not seem to apply to you, just take a look at your Mars, your Moon, your Ascendant, and your Neptune. Any one of these signs of these planets may have they may have an impact on the way that your life is going. You check your natal chart, that'll tell you. Otherwise, drop me a line. I'll be more than happy to look it up for you. That said, let's get started, shall we? The first card is an overview, as always, and we have the Emperor. Now, the Emperor means that this week is the week for you to take control of your life. You still have to follow the rules. If you're working for somebody else, you still have to follow their rules. But it does mean it's time to really take a serious look at the way your life is going and how you're seeing things for you. Okay, the simplest way to put it is follow karmic law. Be true to yourself. Now, Aries. Aries, we have the Ace of Wands inverted. This shows that you have, much as you've got a lot on the go, it's all pointing in one direction. Okay, quite frankly, your future, what you choose to make as your success. Okay, the Ace of Wands inverted is a very powerful card where it comes to indicating that you're the one at the helm. All the other people around you may have an impact on the way things are happening, but you're the one in control. At least of what you personally do. You cannot control other people, you can only control how you respond to what they do. Now, Taurus. Taurus, we have the Six of Cups inverted. Okay, this means it's time to let the past go. Remember the good times, learn from the bad ones. Okay, but let go of the past and really start looking at the future. Now, do understand this does not mean throwing anything you've got out. It doesn't mean that you have to bring any relationship or any job to a close. It simply means don't dwell on the mistakes that have been made or the miscalculations. Take a look at what you did that you're not happy with. Make an adjustment so you don't repeat the thing. Okay, and I know with Taurus you have this tendency of being really stuck in your ways. Rest assured I got that one down pat. I'm a Taurus myself. Now, Gemini, we have the Devil. Don't panic on it. That simply means the material world. But because it's inverted, it means it's time to let your strain on the material world go. Do your best not to judge how successful you personally are by what you're holding in your hand or by the pocketbook that you've got. This indicates it's time to start looking inside. Look at the way you're feeling about what's going on around you, about what's going on with the people near you. Now, Cancer. We have the Five of Swords. Now, this does show success, but the problem is it also shows that you may be dealing with things that are somewhat hidden. You may be overlooking some of the barriers or some of the goals that you've been working on. Take a step back, look at the way your life is going, look at what you've been working on, and just reassess to make sure you haven't overlooked something. This may require going and talking to somebody you know, a counselor, a guide, somebody that you look up to, a mentor, just somebody to give you a shall we say, preferably unbiased viewpoint. Now, Leo. We have the Two of Pentacles inverted. This shows that it's the time for trying to juggle multiple things at the same time may well be over. Okay, this is the time to take a serious look at narrowing down your goals, narrowing down your projects. Don't worry about the goal. Okay, everything's going in the same direction already anyway. But It's time to start focusing in and getting some of the little projects out of the way so you've got the energy to work on the bigger ones. Now, Virgo, we have the Ace of Pentacles inverted. Not to worry, that doesn't mean major loss. It simply means that cash flow may be a little restricted right now. Take a step back, look at what you're spending your money on. You may find you're overextending yourself in areas you don't have to. Okay, but the Ace of Pentacles also, even though it's inverted, does indicate new beginnings. So this does mean that when you're looking at the money around you, your material world, okay, look at it through new eyes. Take a real focus on what you personally desire. Okay, now, Libra, we have the Page of Pentacles inverted. This shows that cash flow is there, but it also shows that it's running through your hands pretty quickly. Now, obviously, I'm the last person to talk to about not helping people. Just be sure you're not overextending yourself where you suddenly find yourself in requirement of the same aid. Okay, it's not a bad thing to avoid overextending yourself. Besides that, it sets you up to be able to help more people in more ways. And I'm referring to, never mind the strangers, I'm referring to people that you actually like. Okay, or that you've already formed a bond with. Scorpio, we have the Eight of Pentacles. This shows that the plans you've been working on are finally coming to fruition. You'll notice the guy standing beside the bush with all the pentacles on it. It's kind of like a farmer having put a lot of work into a project, having put a lot of effort in, and now it's finally bearing fruit. This is a time to celebrate for you. But don't get carried away with that. Sagittarius, we have the Five of Cups inverted. As odd as this may seem, this actually is a card of happiness, a card of joy, relief. The problems you've been dealing with are coming to a close this week. Okay, there's likely to be a breakthrough that finally gets your head on straight with what you're looking at. Now, Capricorn, we have the Page of Swords inverted. So, and this is definitely not my forte. It's a good thing that I don't fit into the Capricorn side. But what it does say is that from your standpoint, very necessary to bite your tongue on occasion. Think before you speak. This doesn't mean don't speak your truth. It just means make sure that you look at how you're saying it so that it gets the message across clearly, especially when you're dealing with negotiations and meetings. Okay, now Aquarius. This is showing the Four of Pentacles. Now the Four of Pentacles indicates that money is starting to move a little bit more freely. This does not mean you can throw it out the window. Although if you are, make sure you're driving by my house. I'll be happy to pick it up. Where it comes to this, it means do your best not to panic on how much is there. Because money is very much like oxygen. You use it, it gets spent, it goes out, eventually it comes back to you. Okay, no worse for the wear. Okay. Now, when we look at Pisces, Pisces shows the Strength card. This indicates that love is winning out over fear. The struggles that you've been going through are finally coming to a balance point. Okay. Now, this does mean it is working, things are shifting. You are coming out of that dark period that you've been going through. But it also shows that you've got support of other people around you. So do your best not to lock yourself away from the standpoint of when you're feeling down, when you're feeling a little stressed, reach out to somebody, even if it's only by phone. Okay. Now the final card, the wrap-up card again, is the Fool, right side up. Now that indicates that as long as you're following karmic law, you will be protected. Things will work out. Not necessarily in the way you want them to. Not necessarily in the way you'd like them to. Okay. And I've talked about this in the past, but the thing you have to look at is take a look at any setback that you seem to be going through And look at what happened as a result of that setback. Personal account, a personal thing I ran into years ago. I was driving down the highway through the mountains, and the net result was I lost control, and I didn't get hurt, but I did put the car up against the meridian. As it turned out, had I not done that, okay, I was somewhat upset because it ruined the car, but had I not been stopped in that fashion, about a half an hour down the road, there was an avalanche that wiped out 2 other vehicles completely. So I kind of got off lucky. I was upset that I didn't make the trip, that I didn't complete the trip that I was on. But on the other hand, I lived through it. So, again, we keep these short. Take a look at the whole video. Do like it. Subscribe to my channel to make sure you can get the rest of them as they come up. And don't forget to go back and look at the past videos I've already done. When you'll look into them, you'll find that there are a lot of them. That said, I'll leave you with it for now. So, until we meet again, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.